Welcome to the replay. Most of you have no idea how many times I've done this show tonight, and that's all about doing live video. Welcome to the replay. However, this information is so important, and you can hear me, I've got this turned on to get your comments, but this information is so important because it's how to get a consistent workout that I am persistent in terms of sharing it with you. My name is CJ Johnson. My passion is helping people who are over age 40 to look and feel their best and age well. Tonight, I want to talk about how a wedding tradition shows us 3 keys that we can use to start or reignite our fitness program. My question of the day for you is this. When you look back on 2017 and you look at your workout consistency, was it what you wanted it to be? If it was, put yes down in the comments below. If it wasn't, put no. If it was sometimes, once in a while, go ahead and put inconsistent or a maybe, whatever you'd like. But put that down in the comments below. Did you meet your consistency expectations for workouts? Many of us don't, even if we're unless we're top elite athletes. If we're recreational athletes, which most of us are when we're over the age of 40, if we're recreational athletes, there are so many times that we don't meet our expectations in terms of consistency. As I've worked with clients, I've come up with some things that I'm constantly recommending to clients to create the habits that will make us more consistent. Now, how are they tied in with a wedding tradition? I know that sounds kind of crazy. Okay, I don't watch much TV. One of the TV shows that I mindlessly binge watch, and my husband John doesn't understand this, is Say Yes to the Dress. If you've never seen it before, it is set in one of the world's biggest bridal salon, Kleinfeld's in New York. It's the drama. They follow a woman who is going there to get her wedding dress. All the emotions and the feelings that go through picking the perfect dress for the perfect day for the rest of your life, along with the family drama and everything like that. Gotta admit, I'm kind of addicted to that show. I happened to be watching an episode of Say Yes to the Dress while I was working on the outline for this topic, how to get consistent and stay consistent in your workout routines. It dawned on me that some of those keys are exactly like one of our most famous wedding traditions. Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. At least it's an easy way to remember it. So that's how the wedding tradition and these consistency keys got tied together. So one more time, if you haven't had a chance to answer the questions of the day, I'm going to take a look down here and see if Facebook is actually streaming some comments. By the way, if you do have a question, I'd love to answer your questions. Make sure that you put a question in front of it. That way I will see it right away. And Facebook is not yet streaming comments, but that's okay. Sometimes it comes up after a while. So make sure if you have a question that you put question in front of it. But if you would, give me a little thumbs up, give me a little heart so I can maybe get this streaming actually working. Let's take a deeper dive into how something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue can give us the habits that will ultimately create workout consistency. Let's start with the first one, something old. Chances are, some point in time in your life, somebody's talked to you about pre-planning your goals. Okay, don't shut me off. Don't stop the video there. I know that that's an old concept. It's more important today than it's ever been. And I'll tell you why. Because our time is life's just moving faster than it's ever been moving. We're plugged in all the time. We have thousands of distractions that we are dealing with on a daily basis. So that's where we need to take and we need to really plan. Because I don't know about you, if it's not written down, I don't get it done. It has to be written down. It has to be part of my schedule for me to finish it. That's why pre-planning is so important. Another big reason is scientists have found out that we have a limited number of decisions that we can make in a day. They say that's around 35,000. I know that that number sounds pretty high, but when you consider that we'll make 200 decisions just around food during the course of the day, that doesn't always leave us with decision-making power until the end of the day. In fact, how many times have you, in the middle of the afternoon, thought, I can't make one more decision? Anybody? Give a little thumbs up or a little heart. I've definitely felt that way. Like, I just don't want to decide one more thing. If you don't pre-plan your workout, you're leaving it to something that might get put by the wayside. And as we age, it gets more and more important that we take care of our bodies, because that's one of the keys for healthy aging. So here are a couple of the things that can help us to pre-plan that workout. The very first thing is sit down the same day every week to plan out your whole entire week. As an example, I sit down on Sunday nights. It takes me about 15 minutes to plan out the whole week. And the very first thing that I do is I pencil in all of my commitments. So I sit down Sunday night, I look at my calendar for the next seven days, and I pencil in every single commitment I have. When am I working? When am I meeting friends? When am I planning time with my hubby? All those different commitments get put down in the calendar. Remembering that some of those commitments, like work, are concrete. You can't change those. If you're commuting, you can't change the commute. Some of those are negotiable. If you're picking kids up after school, maybe you have a spouse or a partner who could help you to do that. Or maybe you have a carpool group that could help you to do that, so you can fit workouts in. Once you've gotten all those commitments down for the entire week, then the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to add your workouts. Plan your workout in. When can you fit it? What do you have to move around? Think of it like a big puzzle. And what you want to do as you plan this is you also want to make sure that you're putting in what you're doing for a workout and where you're doing that workout. So what I'm doing for a workout would be I'm going to the gym. I am going to go hiking with friends. Whatever it is that you're going to do, and really get specific. If you're going to the gym, what are you going to do while you're at the gym? Are you doing a cardio workout? Are you doing a strength training workout? Those types of things. So really get specific. What and where you're doing it. So now you've kind of got your whole plan laid out for you for the entire week. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but your week goes absolutely perfect. It always goes according to plan. Yeah, not me neither. Everything is changing. In fact, sometimes between the time I wake up, which is 5:30, and the time and 8:30 in the morning, everything in my whole day has totally been rearranged. Can anybody relate to that? If you can, to give a little hi, give a little wave, thumbs up in the comments, something like that. Everything is constantly changing. In order for that plan to work, I need to spend a couple of minutes every day really looking at it and refining at it. So one of the things that I do is the night before, I look and I adjust that plan. I make sure I see what is it that I can do. What do I have to, is there something that I need to change? What has to be adjusted in order to make it work? Because here's the big thing. We talked about those 35,000 decisions. If I haven't looked at it the night before and I get to later in the afternoon, I might be out of decisions. In fact, by that point in time, usually my brain is starting to really get fried. I'm going to look at it, and if I don't have all the time to do everything I planned, I run the risk of just not doing a workout at all. If I look at it the night before and I know that that workout might not fit into that time of day, I still have the ability to rearrange my day. Can I change my day? And if I can't change my day, I can change my workout. I could change it from an hour to a half hour. I could change cardio to some stretching and to some yoga. I can still do something. The bottom line is this: doing a portion of a workout is better than doing the whole workout, or is better than doing none of the workout. You want to at least be doing something. And if you know about it the night before, you have the opportunity to make changes and still get your workout in. Then the very last thing that you want to do in the pre-planning process is go ahead and make it easy. What I mean by make it easy is pretty simple. Pack your gym bag the night before. If you're going for a bike ride, put your bike on the rack. Do the things that are going to make it easy for you to get out the door. If you're running, put your shoes by the door. If you're working out first thing in the morning, say you're like me, you like to work out from home. Instead of getting up and getting into a different set of clothes, I go right into my workout clothes. That way I am there and I'm ready to go ahead and I'm ready to do it. So that's the pre-planning part. And the thing about pre-planning is this doesn't have to take forever. This takes me literally, it takes me 10 to 15 minutes to look at the whole entire week. It takes me 1 to 2 minutes in the evening to adjust my day. That's all it takes. You get into this habit and you do something old, which you know works. Pre-planning, you know that works. If you do something old, you start to build that consistent workout habit. So I'm going to take a look down here, see if the comments are coming through yet. They're not. Sorry about that. I'm not seeing them come through yet. It's stuck. Darn you, Facebook. I promise this. If you put a comment and you have a question below, if they don't start scrolling during the live, I will make sure and I will get those questions answered. As well as many of the things that I'm talking about, I'm going to have some links in the description. I will post those later so that you can have access to this later as well. So let's move on. We have talked about something new or something old, and that was the pre-planning. Let's move on to something new. I don't know about you, but I'm a shiny object kind of girl, especially when it comes to fitness. I was one of those people who, remember Billy Blank's Tybo? Ha, ha, ha. No. Anyway, I had every VHS tape that Billy Blanks made. And then I went into my Tony Horton phase. I did P90X, P90X2, Tony Horton Live. Then I tried Shailene Johnson. Then I did Insanity with Shaun T. As you can tell, I have gone through a lot of different phases. And one of the things that happens for me when there's something new, I get excited and I want to learn a lot about it. It's like that shiny object that gets my attention. So by taking something new and applying it to our fitness, we get reignited and excited about it, and we want to do it more often. So the very first thing is that new workout. What I want you to look at is when can you what can you incorporate into a new workout for you? In fact, I was looking up a couple of the latest and the greatest. What's the Tybo of this day and age? There are a few things that I found. One is called Physique 57. It's a combination of dance and ballet type of exercises. It is the rage. Another one I saw, you've probably taken a spin class. I think most of us have, and they are killer. A good spin class is a great cardio workout. There are some clubs that are doing underwater spin. Yes, they put the bikes in the water. I've seen the pictures. They put the bikes in the water like spin isn't a good enough cardio workout to begin with, and now you're going to add the resistance to water. If you have done a underwater spin, I want to know about it. You better put some comments down below. Tell me how it was. Is it as hard as I am thinking that an underwater spin workout should be? Those are a couple of the new things. My latest fascination has been a sport called pickleball. Great sport. Crappy name. Really, really bad name. Named after a dog. Whole long story. Pickleball is the #1 fastest growing sport in the States amongst people over 60. It's a sport that you play with a paddle, kind of like a ping pong paddle, a composite paddle. The ball is the consistency of a wiffle ball. You play it on a badminton-sized court, and you either use a hard asphalt surface like a tennis court or a gym surface. It's usually played in, you can play singles, but the more popular is doubles. It can be a phenomenal workout. It's a fun game to learn. I am going to put some links down below to the United States Pickleball Association. One of the great things about pickleball is not only is it a wonderful workout, but it's a phenomenal way to meet people. Very, very social game. Pickleball players will be more than happy to give you the equipment and to teach you how to do it. So at that USAPA link that I'm putting in the show notes, you just click on places to play. You'll see where it is and how you can learn to play that sport. And it's tons of fun. Look at what you enjoy doing. If you enjoy dance, look at a dance class. If you enjoy strength training, perhaps look at a boot camp, do something like that. Let your fingers do the walking. See what is new. Go on the internet, make some calls to your local health club, see what's new in your area, and start a new workout to create some of that consistency. The next thing you can do is, how about new clothes? I don't know about you, but when I put on a new shirt or new outfit, something, I feel like $1,000,000. And it doesn't have to be something that's extremely expensive. When I weighed over 250 pounds and I started working out and I started losing weight, my shirts, obviously, I was changing size. My shirts were starting to hang on me. It took me a long time, and it was actually at the suggestion of my trainer that I go get a new workout shirt. I'd been working out hard. It was time to feel good about how my body was looking. And new clothes can do that, and they don't have to be very expensive. So if you're hitting some goals, you're feeling good about yourself, don't reward yourself with food. Reward yourself with a new workout shirt or pair of leggings, pair of shorts, something like that. But new clothes can really make a difference. Another thing that motivates me is music. Do you like music? Do you have playlists? If you do, little thumbs up, make a comment. Yes, got playlists, CJ. Playlists are phenomenal. Good heart-pumping cardio music helps to motivate me and to get me through the workout. If you're like me, you love the music, but you hate putting the playlist together. I have found this new service. It's actually called Fit Radio. Fit Radio, I found it on Groupon, and I'm going to put the Groupon link down below. Fit Radio is a station, it's an app that you put on your phone, and you pick your music genre. And they have all different sorts of genres. Once you've played some out of your playlist, it starts picking out music for you. So you get all these good songs that maybe you haven't even thought about. The cool part to this is you can also set it to do interval workouts. There's different training programs on it. It costs $18 with the Groupon for a year's subscription. It saves me immeasurable amounts of time, and I get new playlists all the time. I'll put that link down in the show notes below. Another thing that helps me to change my workouts every once in a while is to get some new equipment. So if you are into strength training, have you ever tried a kettlebell? That can be some new equipment that can make it fun for you to do and that you'll do it more often. How about a Bosu ball? A Bosu is a balance ball. Playing on a Bosu ball for me and doing some of the hops, it's great for ski conditioning, but I get to be like a kid. So incorporating all these different types of equipment into a workout can also change it up enough for you that you get that feeling of something new. Certainly one of the newest fitness craze, you can't go around without seeing people, they have wearables, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. I jumped ahead to something else. But anyway, so I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about self-assessment, because that's what's on my notes. How does that go? And you may not know where to start. So you may be looking for something new, but you're not sure exactly how to start or where to start. Last week's show, I did a self-assessment. I showed you how to do one. Looking at the 5 key areas of fitness and being able to take a couple of tests that won't take you very long to do to see what's your strongest area and what your weakest area is. Once you do that, you can continue to do things that enhance your strength, but you can also work on areas that will build up your weaknesses. That's going to give you more overall fitness and better health and make aging so much easier. At the very end of this live, I'm going to give you the link to that resource as well, so that you can go in and that you can take a self-assessment test. And then the last comment I want to talk about, the last thing under the new category, is just 10 minutes. This is a concept that has worked so well, not just for me, but for a lot of my clients. Have you ever gotten to the point in time where you're ready to go to your scheduled workout and you just don't feel like doing it? It's like, oh, I should be doing X, or I should be doing Y, or I just don't want to do it. You end up not doing it, and then you feel guilty later. Has that ever happened to you? It certainly has happened to me multiple times. Just 10 minutes is this. When that thought comes to your mind, and it will, it eventually will, say to yourself, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do whatever activity you have planned for just 10 minutes. If at the end of 10 minutes, I don't feel like continuing, I give myself permission to stop, and I'm not going to beat myself up over it. That concept has helped me to complete so many workouts. Most of the time, the first 10 minutes of a workout for me just suck. My body is like, what are you doing to me? Why are you putting me through this? I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'm feeling pretty rotten. After 10 minutes, my blood is starting to flow, my body temperature is elevated, my muscles are ready to work, and frankly, I'm ready to get into the workout. By doing it for 10 minutes, I usually end up completing the whole workout. So whenever your mind starts giving you grief, try a new technique. Say, okay, mind, just 10 minutes. So as we look back on the things that are new, these are the things that you can put into your workout routine. Pick out one of these, add it to your routine, kind of give it that shiny penny concept so that you can put something new into your routine. I'm going to look down here and see, yeah, no, my comments are starting to work. Hey, Angelique, how are you? It's been a long time. How are you doing? It's good to see you here. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you put down below, put the word question in front of it, and I will make sure that I get those answered. So we talked about the something old and the something new, the pre-planning and the shiny new object. Let's go ahead and let's talk about something borrowed. What we want to borrow is motivation. Whenever I have stopped my fitness and workout routine, whether it's for 2 days or maybe I'm sick and it's been a week, or when I put on a bunch of weight in my 30s, I stopped working out for 10 years. It was so hard for me to get back in the workout routine. I applied these two concepts. The first one was the concept of a workout partner. Looking around and finding a workout partner. And my first workout partner, that was my husband, John. I weighed over 250 pounds. I was not in any kind of shape to do much of anything. I started walking. I asked him to walk with me 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. John's 6'2". He's got these really super duper long legs. Walking with him at the time, I felt like I was at a dead run. It was miserable. We had this mile-long driveway. We'd walk to the end of the driveway and then walk back. He stuck with me. He stuck with me long enough for me to create a workout habit. I started to lose some weight, felt a little bit better about myself, got some of my confidence back. I was ready to head to the gym. Now, at the time, I had this big corporate job, convinced myself that the only way that I would continue to be successful is I worked these incredibly long hours, 6 and 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day. In order for me to realistically take time from my schedule, I knew that I was going to have to make a commitment to somebody else. And that's when I went out and I hired a trainer. So John had been my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday buddy. I went out and I hired a trainer, and I met her Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. I was going to get out of work, and I was going to make the commitment to be there because I was paying her. And if I didn't show up, she was going to get paid anyway. Those were the two commitments I needed to make in order to start developing workout consistency, was that workout partner and hiring a trainer. Now, you may not be able to do either one of those. Workout partners, you might be able to find at a gym or a family or friend, spouse, significant other. You may not be able to afford to hire a trainer. However, there is a service out there that has some low price and no price options where you get to work out with people who have like interests, and that's called Meetup. I don't know if you're familiar with Meetups. I'm going to post the link down below, but it's meetup.com. And meetups are events planned around specific activities. So there can be meetups all the way from, there's pickleball meetups, there are shopping meetups, antiquing meetups. You imagine it, people are creating meetups. Here in Reno, Tahoe, we have a hiking club meetup. They have several thousand members. They go on multiple hikes during the course of the week, all the way from easy hikes all the way to very difficult hikes from different locations. And here you get to go out and you get to be healthy and fit around an activity that you enjoy, and you're going to go ahead and get to meet people doing that activity as well. So if a workout partner or perhaps a trainer aren't right for you, you might want to consider a meetup. The next one we're going to look at, I started to talk about this a few minutes before. I thought it was in the last slide. Now it's in this one. It's the wearable party. Everybody seems to have fitness trackers on these days. Well, one of the cool things about fitness trackers is we can connect with our friends, or we can, on some of these trackers on the apps, they have people who don't know each other get together and do a fitness challenge. If you are the least bit competitive, these can be so motivating for you. If you're part of a challenge, you log on to your app and you see that Mary Sue has done 8,000 steps today, chances are you're going to go put on your shoes and get out there and get that many, if not more, steps. Use your wearable more than just something to track what you've been doing. As a matter of fact, on the first show in December, I think it's December 5th, I'm going to be doing a review of wearables just in time for the holiday season, so that if you haven't already purchased one or you're thinking about purchasing one for yourself or for a friend, I'm going to go through and share with you the things that for you to consider to get the best wearable for you. So you're going to want to make sure that you stay tuned to that show. But if you already have one, consider doing a wearable party. Another thing that you might want to do, and I don't say this very lightly, is a dog. Dogs, they need to go out and they need to walk. They can keep you active and healthy. Now, it's way more than a dog is way more of a commitment than just you being active. But if you have a love for animals and you have room inside of your life, a rescue animal can add so much, not only to your life, but to your activity as well. About a year ago, the Humane Society did a series of videos called Mutual Rescue. I wanted to make it part of this show, but frankly, I can't get through it without crying. It's the story of a man and his dog named Petey. The man was told by his doctor that if he didn't change his life within 5 years, he needed to be planning his funeral. The man called a nutritionist, and the first thing the nutritionist told him to do was to go adopt a dog. It's the story of how these two rescued each other. It's a great video. The link's down below. Give it a look. The point is, if you have room in your life for a four-legged friend, they can be very, very motivating from an exercise standpoint. It's just something to consider. The last thing, or the next thing on this one is going to be signing up for an event. There are so many things that are coming up with the holidays, right? Jingle bell runs, charity walks, those types of things. If you find that if you sign up for an event, you get motivated to finish it. A few years ago, I started distance running, and I wanted to run a half marathon, so I paid my money. I signed up for the Rock and Roll Half Marathon down in Vegas. I have to tell you, I didn't really enjoy the training. I love doing 5Ks. The half marathon just wasn't my bag. As I started to get into the longer distances, I wasn't enjoying it that much. However, I'd signed up for this event. I'd made the hotel reservations. I'd done all that thing. So it made me go through and finish the training and actually run the event. Last one I ran. And don't plan to run anymore. But the act of signing up for that event made me continue the training, and it made me keep consistent workouts into my life. The very last thing is public accountability. There are so many ways to be accountable to people. We've got social media, Facebook, Instagram, all those types of things. However, sometimes it can be even embarrassing to say, I'm on a quest to get fit, or I want to lose 20 pounds, whatever it may be. I love a technique that Darren Hardy from Success Magazine used a few years ago on Facebook. Darren started posting that his goal for that year was to see more sunsets. So every so many days, you would see a post that said sunset number 23, the picture of the sunset, and a brief description of where he was at. And Darren was actually using a technique, a goal-setting technique called anchoring. His goal wasn't to see more sunsets. Darren was a type A personality. His goal was to quiet his mind and to have a little bit more quiet time in his life. When he tried to do that, he ended up doing it for about 8 minutes. He couldn't do it for any length of time at all. He found a different activity that would help him to reach that goal. By going out and looking at sunsets, he knew it was going to take a little extra time. It's not like you just pop out until you see the sunset. You have to go out a little bit early. As the sun is setting, it's so nice to enjoy that lovely sunset and take a few pictures of it. He turned that activity into something that would help him to reach his goal of having more quiet time. It's a technique called anchoring. In the show notes, I will put a link to the article so you can see all the different things around anchoring and how to use that as a form of public accountability. So again, our something borrowed. Borrow the motivation from somebody else. Pick out one or even two of these things. Really, if you pick out one of these things, that's a great place to start. If we do too many things, trying to do too many things at one time, we don't create consistency. So if you pick out something from the something old, do a little bit of pre-planning. You pick out something from the something new, pick out a new workout activity, and then go here in the borrowed category, pick out something in the borrowed category. You're going to be on your way to creating those healthy fitness routines. Now, I could tell you the wedding thing is something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. I just couldn't think of anything blue. I was going to turn myself blue, but I'm still new to the whole video system that I'm running, so I couldn't figure out a way to do that. I'm sure in 6 months I'll be able to do that from now. Or I was going to say something super corny like, and then if you do these workouts, you won't be blue, but hey, you get the picture. Something old, something new, something borrowed, and hey, you're just not blue anymore. I promised you a little bit earlier some access to those self-assessment tests. If you go to agewellwithcj.com/self-fitness-test, you're going to be directed to a post where you have videos as well as written instructions, and then a self-assessment scorecard based upon your age to give you some ideas of where you are, what's a good starting point for you, and how to incorporate that into these concepts in your workout routine. So let me go ahead and take a little bit of a look here, see if we have any questions or comments. Again, if you have a question, everything's just not coming through right now. Not on my Facebook, love you Facebook, but sometimes the technology just doesn't work. If you have a question, put question in front of it, post that question anyway. Even if you do that after a replay, I go back and I look at all those questions. I will go ahead and I will answer that question for you. Next week, next Tuesday night, which is going to be the 14th, I am starting a holiday survival series. John and I are going to be on vacation down in San Francisco. We're going to talk about the key things that you need to do